What advantage does the Philippines have when it comes to national defense? How should the Philippines approach the West Philippine Sea issue? Should the country prepare for war? I'm Patricia Mirasol and I'm a multimedia producer at BusinessWorld. In this B-side episode, I talked to Norberto B. Gonzales, who twice served as Secretary of National Defense, on defense strategies, military aid, and the West Philippine Sea. Hello, Mr. Norberto Gonzales. Thank you for taking the time for this interview. My first question is about the government's approach to the West Philippine Sea. Back in December 2023, President Marcos said there should be a paradigm shift in diplomacy with Beijing. He said that he did not want any conflict and that he's talking with the country's partners to come up with a joint position on their responsibilities. However, the standoffs between China and the Philippines over Scarborough Shoal and the Second Thomas Shoal have become more frequent now, and the president has since vowed to implement countermeasures against the Chinese Coast Guard over their incidents with our own coast guards. I wonder, what can be done to remedy this? Does a compromise exist?
When you see the president saying something and then apparently being changed days or weeks after, this is indicative really of the sad state that we are in, that we are not the sole determinant of how we will react on the West Philippine Sea. The Americans are heavily involved, for example, and lately, even our other neighbors like Japan, Australia, Korea, are all getting into the issue. The issue of the West Philippine Sea has a global character. And part of the major players are really China and the United States. Now we happen to be somewhere in between.
All right. Well, another point is military aid. The U.S. allotted $65 billion of its $95 billion military aid budget to Ukraine. $26.3 billion will also go to Israel, and $8.12 billion to Taiwan. Only $500 million was earmarked for the Philippines. Why is that, especially since, as an ally, we already have additional EDCA sites in northern Luzon?
I will go beyond the money issue. It's not just about receiving so little in comparison to what other countries are receiving. It is also indicative of how the Americans are appreciating us, or the whole world for that matter. You know, in the case of Israel and even Taiwan, they're given huge budgets because they're expected to spend it for a defense position that is participated solely by them or mainly by them. No, in our case, our position in this conflict is that more and more, it is indicative that the Americans will be doing more of the job, including bringing in warm bodies in the Philippines. They are not trusting us enough to be able to spend so much money for preparing a defense position that would matter. So we are being assisted, and when they assess us, we are not in a position to prepare a kind of defense that could succeed without them. The tragedy of us Filipinos is we do not have our own defense strategy. We are not formulating our own national response to a threat like China. We do not have those. So why give us money? What for?
If you were to craft our own defense strategy, how would you start? I mean, how should the Philippines start crafting its own defense strategy?
The first step is to prepare our own people. You see, training our young people is not just preparing them to fight a war. When you train your citizenry in the military, you acquire certain important things like discipline, like how will we when trouble begins, how will we handle our people? There has to be some orderly and well thought of plan on responding to for example, an invasion, and training our young people as a reserve force will give us the necessary structural mechanism to be able to give our people an orderly response to any contingency. The most peaceful country in the world, peaceful countries in the world, the most committed to peace, the most committed to a non-war, no-war policy, are all preparing for war now, today. You know, no country in the world is now taking this lightly. We are in the center of the second theater, second most important theater in a possibility of a world war, and we are vacillating. The best option is to assume that there will be war. If does not happen, there's no waste. If we decide
Yeah.
not to prepare and the war comes, what happens? Misery for our people.
Some people say that because China is our main trading partner, our economy might suffer if we end up in conflict with them.
When we say preparation in a contingency as serious as war, what are the fundamentals that we need to have? We need food. So it's really what is tragic to me is that the most basic food of the Filipinos we are importing, and we're the biggest importer in the world. We cannot even plant rice. Government intervention is essential so that we make it as a matter of strategic survival that we become self-sufficient in rice, because that is what we will eat. And we are not doing that. We decided to do the easy way. You see, importing rice is so easy. You only need money. And our government can just borrow and borrow and borrow and then buy and buy and buy imported goods. That is the easy way. But that will help us when a contingency like war begins. Do you think rice will continue to flow to the Philippines even if we have all the money in the world? We have to begin our self-sufficiency strategy in the matters of food.
Talking about self sufficiency and resources, a prominent businessman said the Philippines needs to explore oil reserves in the West Philippine Sea to lower electricity rates. What are your thoughts on that?
We don't know when the war will happen. To me, the faster or the sooner we start our preparations, the better. Other than speculating, for example, that we have oil in the West Philippine Sea and that we can explore it, and therefore we will have more supply and we can lower the price of fuel.
So, what I'm hearing is that we really need to be self sufficient, especially when it comes to food, and we likewise need to prepare for war, whether or not there will be one.
This is a fundamental issue when it comes to war. Whether you love your own country enough to defend it with your life. We Filipinos, we don't know because our government is not giving us or not giving our young people the opportunity to show that they love their country too. The Chinese are looking at us. And what do they see? Yung mga Pinoy madaling bayaran yan, nabibili yan, nakukurap yan, you know, mga utusan lang yan sa abroad. This is what we are showing our enemy. So what are they doing? They are infiltrating us as if they own the Philippines already. Because where does this all come from? They don't respect us. You know, it's about time, because the strategy that we need to formulate for our country is not just a strategy of defense. It is a strategy of also of winning respect. Us respecting ourselves and us being respected by our neighbors and the world. This is the kind of strategy that we need for our people today. And we should not be sorry that this is happening. You see, this is a golden opportunity for Filipinos to rise up to this tragic situation that we are in. We are more than 100 million people. Individually, our behavior, our talent, are admirable. But as a nation, as a society, where are we? Where are we? You know, that will matter a lot. No? We say we will engage the Chinese in dialogue. You know, the fundamental requirement of a good dialogue is that you are respected by your by the other side. If you are not respected, pagtatawanan ka lang, lolokohin ka. You will be cheated like anything. This is where we are today. That is why the most fundamental thing that we need to talk about, especially our leaders. Look at all the dialogues we're having with the Chinese. Look at all the promises. Oh. And the nerve, the nerve to even set us up. This thing that happened to Vice Admiral Carlos, can you imagine publicly saying that we have been bugged by, if you are respected, even if they do that, they will tell you. Nationalism is something that is extremely important at a time like this when we are being provoked to get into a fight. This is very important. So, what will I say to our people? I know that our elections are manipulated. I know that our democracy is questionable. I know that choosing our leaders does not only mean that we want somebody and not this, that another. I know that we're messed up. But I honestly, when I begin to narrate these things, I don't know what to give advice to our people. Maybe pray.
The Philippines needs to prepare for war, and part of that preparation is being self-sufficient on food. Mr. Gonzales also says the strategy we need to formulate for our country should also be the strategy of respecting ourselves and of us being respected by the world. This has been another episode of Me-Side. Subscribe now and enjoy industry insights on Philippine business and beyond.